Who wants to be king?
Welcome back to the War Room. Before I engage in the topic today, I want to thank all the new subs that have come in. It's been a windfall since the video that I posted yesterday. The tube has pretty much gotten me buried because of the content that I make and my unwillingness to censor what I have to say. So the fact that you men and few women have found my channel and subscribed, it lets me know that what I'm doing here is not in vain. And I thank you greatly for your time and attention, because again, that's the most valuable currency that we have. And we don't really know how much of that we have, so thank you. In the video that I made yesterday, I was talking about the situation between Flimsy and his little troll homeboy and Abba and Preach, in particular the things that they said about Preach's heritage and his wife. And in that video, I made it pretty abundantly clear that if these dudes didn't stand to and answer the call that they themselves put out, that they were straight cowards. And not to any surprise to me, before the night was over, they had already backtracked and moonwalked themselves out of the situation, because they're fucking cowards. There's nothing else to be said. This video here isn't to reiterate any of that or any of that shit like that, because I'm not here for drama or any of that. What I'm here for is to genuinely help men and young boys navigate their way through this culture of horse shit that we have. The manosphere has been destroyed with these characters all the way across the board. The red pill community is toxic. It's very toxic. And although there are morsels of information that are beneficial to men, there's more harm that's being done than good. The constant berating of women, putting all women who have children in the same category, telling men that if they engage with these type of women, that they're some sort of way beneath their highness, or that they're some kind of way cucks because they're raising another man's child, while at the same time talking about the fatherless epidemic that we have in this country that has ruined the culture. These dudes don't have any continuity. There's no congruency in anything that they say. What they do is they say the popular stuff, the shit that keeps you weak and apathetic, makes you thirsty for what knowledge that they're trying to teach you, but there's really no gain of function in anything that they say. All they're doing is keeping the hook in your mouth so you can continue keeping their pockets fed. It's plain and simple. But this situation with the stork and his little troll buddy, it's really illuminating on a lot of stuff. Because we live in an internet age, you can pretend to be whatever you want to be for a certain amount of time, but eventually you are going to be exposed. You're going to be exposed for what you really are. And these guys who are dressing up in lion suits and pretending to be Superman, they start falling into their own cognitive dissonance and believe in the bullshit and the tug from both ends of the narrative. And what they're teaching men is how to be just the least of the douchebaggery in our society. Pick up artists, dudes that talk about game, all of that stuff. That's what you talk about when you're in junior high. All of that stuff is what you focus on when you're little boys. And to the young men, it's understandable that you get caught in that, but it's imperative that you get out of it as soon as possible, because when you're young, you're not really much value to yourself. So when you subscribe to fake men who are pretending to be something and leading you, the only place that you can end up is lost. What happened with the troll and the stork, it was good for them. And this message is really for them, because I know you whole ass niggas are watching this. You're doing damage control, which is the only reason why you apologize in the first place. There's no sincerity in what you said. There's no sincerity in what you did. You threw the gauntlet down, you saw that the man was standing at the gates, and you penny-waist, homemade niggas ran, started trying to make it about some Jake Paul shit. You niggas, you're cowards. There's no other way around this. But this message is to the stork and the troll. You guys have painted yourself into a corner where you got caught with your panties down. And you're trying to do damage control, and you're trying to do Derek Jackson spin to save what you've done. But there's only one way to prove that you have honor. You know, when I was young, I didn't understand the hardships that I went through in my life. The way that my dad, who was my stepdad, the way that he raised me was to be a man. When I was a young boy, he didn't allow me to be a coward. He didn't allow me to run away from anything, especially shit that I started. And one of the memories that's burned most deeply into my soul is when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. I was playing with a kid down the street that was a little bit older than me. He was bigger than me. I don't remember what the conflict was, but something happened between us, and I spit on him, hit him, took off running to my house. I didn't stand and fight him. I did some coward shit. And I ran home, went in there, and tried to hide. Well, the kid's dad ended up coming and having a chat with my own dad, and instead of him whooping my ass or teaching me any lesson physically in that way, he made me go out and scrap with that boy. And the two men sat there and watched us go back and forth, and we fought until we couldn't breathe anymore. We were both crying because we wanted to stop doing what they were making us do. They made us bang it out the whole time, and by the time we were done, we were mates, we were homeboys. And after that, he took me inside and then whooped my ass for running like a coward. And what I learned in that situation was no matter what it is that you are running from, eventually you're gonna have to face it. And when you do face it, the outcome from you running, from you being a coward, is often worse than if you would have just turned around and stood and faced the challenge. In the old days, back in the days when men were warriors and there was a code of honor, if a man challenged another man to mutual combat and the man declined, he had to sit down and shut the fuck up. And that's kind of where we are here. You two clowns have built up a platform pretending to be alphas, giving young men all of the guidance, which now looks like misguidance. You've been talking all of this shit, and now you've flexed yourself into a situation that there's really only one way out of, and that's to give Preach his day, to give Preach his moment to get at you. You two niggas need to do what you so boastfully did when you had the bobbleheads on your show and when you were flexing, taking your clothes off in front of each other. You need to keep that energy. You need to keep that spirit about yourself and take the fade. Line up and take the fade. Win, lose, or draw. That man, Abba offered you niggas 20 grand just to show up. And then you tried to make it about something else that shows that you hoes. The only way that you can keep any credibility as men is line up, let that man have his day. Let that man have his moment. What you did, it doesn't go away with an apology. What you guys said, the way that you postured up, the way that you moved, could have got your ass killed back when I was young. Right now, all you're facing is an expose of your manhood. They said they're still coming to Miami or wherever you clowns are at. If you want to prove that you're men, take that fade. Line up. And if it's ass whooping you got to take that ass whooping. And learn the lesson that's here to be taught. Otherwise, both of you whole ass niggas need to sit down and shut the fuck up. Out.